Hey everybody, I'm Cindy Matalucci, your host of The Pulse Live with Cindy. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We have such a great show. It's Friday the 13th of April, but I'm convinced it's a lucky day. I love Friday the 13th. Before we get started with our day and our show, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something that I just did, which was a meditation challenge. I just needed some balance in my life. I know that we all struggle with balance and how to make it all work, especially as an entrepreneur. So I just did a 21-day meditation challenge with Deepak and Oprah. I've done it before. I did it again. I loved it. I just wrote a huge post about it on the website, so I hope you guys will check it out. I'm just going to be honest and keep it real. I am not a great meditator. I'm just going to say I have a really hard time quieting my mind. So I don't know if that happens to you. I tried meditating at night. I tried meditating in the daytime. I tried outside. I mean, I tried it, you name it, but I stuck to it. I did it, and I had some really eye-opening things happen to me. So I would love for you guys to read the blog post, give me your thoughts on it, how you balance your life. Would love to hear from you on that. It's at thepulsesd.com. And I thought that I would start our day with a mantra because I'm big on the mantras now, especially after the meditation. So one of my favorites, and we're going to actually put this up on the screen, you live most of your life inside of your head. Make sure it's a nice place to be. I think that was from Buddha. But I absolutely love this. And the reason that I love this is because I think we're so hard on ourselves.
Absolutely.
I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of my friends on a regular basis, a lot of moms out there that are entrepreneurs. I know everybody. I mean, everyone that I talk to is so hard on themselves. And, you know, we're our biggest critics, but don't be so hard on yourselves. I know I do the same thing. I'm just as guilty of it. We're perfectionists, we're type A. But, you know, take some time and say good things to yourself. Even if you wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm grateful to be alive today. You know, think of something that you can bring into your day. So we're going to start bringing you some mantras, and that was my one for today. So I hope that you will bring that into your weekend. Have a great weekend and bring that into your life and just take a moment for yourself. So that's my soapbox for today.
Love it.
That's Cindy's soapbox. We're gonna have to coin that. And then also, before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors for today's episode. I love them. It's Miracle. They are fabulous. I'm using their products, and basically you can feel better inside and out with the power of activated charcoal. So people don't know, I don't know if you know a lot about activated charcoal. It's also known as activated carbon. It's been around since like the 1900s, and it's basically been used as a medication to treat poisonings that occurred by mouth. So there's a lot of scientific facts behind it, a lot of history behind activated charcoal. What's unique about Miracle and their product is that they've transformed the ancient use of activated charcoal to meet the modern standards with organic ingredients packaged in capsules that you can take with you. So they're easy to use. I mean, and who doesn't love that? I mean, you want to be able to take it with you. So I love it. They're also the only product on the market that combines organic activated coconut charcoal with electrolytes for maximum recovery and hydration. So it's a proprietary blend. The difference is, and I use both of these, there's two of them. There's their total body detox and recovery system, and then there's the ultimate hangover detox, which I'm going to talk to you about too. But their recovery system, what's unique about this and what I was drawn to the product is because it has B12 and turmeric in it. I love turmeric. I've had inflammation in my body, so using this, I've noticed a big difference. The other thing with the B12 is if you take it before you go to the gym, you get a boost of energy, which is amazing. So I'll take it before I go to boxing. I take this by itself. I don't mix other supplements with it, but I absolutely love this. And then the other one, the Detox the Hangover, you know that I love my wine, and I am not giving it up. I know all of you know that. So what can you do to alleviate that, right? So this is great. It pulls the toxins from your system. So if you have a sugary drink, it alleviates that. I take it on my second drink. I take about 3 of them per drink, but everybody's unique, everybody's different. So start slow, drink lots of water, but I absolutely love the product, and I just want to thank Miracle for being a sponsor on our show. And you'll be seeing more of them because they will be sponsors on our show. So thanks, Miracle, and you guys check them out. We have a promo code for them, so you guys can shop. We have everything on the website, but it's miracle.com/products. Use our promo code PULSE20, save 20% on all your orders, and check them out and let us know what you think. So thanks, Miracle. So that's our sponsor. And then without further ado, I'm so excited for our show today. I have Lois Weinblatt here. She is from True North Business Development. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thanks so much for having me, Cindy.
We're so excited. We're in blue.
Yes, we are. We were feeling it.
We didn't even tell each other that we were wearing blue.
Just mind melding all day.
We're on a mission though, so we have the same thing going. But you have a degree in journalism from Boston University. You're a published writer, and you use that skill set to help clients document their vision of success. I love that. So before we kind of dive into what you do, talk to me a little bit about your story and your passion for how you got involved in what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it really all started when I was back in Michigan, where I'm from. And I was born in Ann Arbor, and there's an absolutely amazing organization called Zingerman's. So you're a foodie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would love this place. It's like a specialty foods emporium. So they're really well known in the gourmet foods world, which makes a lot of sense, but they're also really well known in the business world. So why is a food company so well known in the business world? It's because everything they do starts with a vision.
Okay.
And I mean literally everything. So they're going into a busy holiday season, if they're launching a new product, whatever it is, they're always going to ask, what's the vision of success? How would we know that we were successful in this? So for me, that really resonated. And while a lot of little kids want to be like an astronaut when they grow up, I was like, I want to work at Zingerman's when I grow up. So I did, worked with them in a lot of different capacities, did a lot of visioning with my team. And then when I was 25, I was at this big crossroads. And I was thinking about that really scary question of, what do I want my life to look like in 5 years? Because I didn't want it to just happen to me, I wanted to make it happen. But I knew if I couldn't even articulate that for myself, there was no way it was going to happen. So I literally, I know it sounds crazy, I locked myself in an apartment for the weekend, and I can't tell you how many drafts I wrote, and I tore up and threw away and started again. But at the end of that weekend, I had my vision. And it was so relieving because I wasn't going to have to do it again for 5 years, A. B, I felt like I had this compass. Like, I'm 25, of course you're going to get off track. That's half the fun of it. But I would be able to recognize when I got off track and be able to get back on track. And I felt like I had this force field around me because it would be really challenging to make it happen, but no one could take that away from me. So, right, amazing, amazing experience, but I also realized it is just really difficult to go through that process by yourself. And I just didn't want other people to have to go through that process by themselves. And so sharing my vision, I got the opportunity to live and work abroad. And then when I came back to the US, I had my first client in Spain. And then when I moved back to the US, I knew it was time to really take that kernel of what I wrote about when I was 25 and make it happen.
Well, yeah, and you worked with visionary leaders in the US, Canada, Europe, Australia. I know you were in Alabama for some time too. Now you're here in San Diego. But it sounds like your approach is something that can be used across industries.
Definitely.
So it's not just one industry, which I want to kind of make that apparent to the viewers. And the dynamics are interesting because it changes at the individual level, right?
Absolutely.
And the organizational level.
Exactly.
So talk to us about your business itself, about True North Business Development. What do you do and how do you work with clients?
So there's a few different ways that I work with clients. I work with them in workshops, and then I work with clients one-on-one as well. So the group workshops I keep really small, and when I first started my business, I actually refused to do workshops because the last thing I wanted was for somebody to come, be inspired for the day, get a fancy workbook, toss it in the back of their car, nothing changes. So I really resisted that, and then I was able to create a workshop that wasn't just that the workshop ends and the real work begins. And so that's where the accountability and the support comes in after the workshop. So I work with really small, tight-knit groups of visionaries, and sometimes some of them know each other, sometimes it's 15 visionaries who've never met before. They're coming together, and I take them through the process. And then I also work really intensively with individuals, entrepreneurs, CEOs, executive directors, et cetera, to take them through the process. And then I also work with leadership teams and small groups, co-founders, et cetera.
Okay, so let's talk about successful people. You and I had this conversation on the phone. They have so much going on in their head, right? And I know this because I have a women's group that I run, and it's entrepreneurs, and it's always like, how do we focus? Where's the laser focus? We're multitasking constantly, right?
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're helping pull that focus.
Absolutely.
So tell people a little bit about, what you would do, like a roadmap. I know that's a big thing that everybody needs a map, right?
Yes.
How are you going to get where you're going?
Exactly, exactly.
But I mean, let's talk about that so we can kind of break it down a little bit.
So the interesting thing is that oftentimes when I ask people, I always say, what do you think of when I say the word vision? And people always say, oh, the future. So in their minds, they think, okay, so I'm going to go into this workshop and we're going to start talking about my future. But that's actually not it at all, because in my mind, before you can even think about the future, you have to understand how you got where you are. Then you really have to be able to take a step back and take stock of where you truly are now. And only then can you start to look forward to where you want to be. And at that point, only then can you work backwards from where you're going to be and figure out how to get there.
Okay.
So oftentimes, especially in today's world, we're usually just charting the course, right? We want to get out there, we want to make it happen, just do it. But oftentimes we realize we're charting this course and we never determine the destination. Mm-hmm. So then you're getting somewhere real fast, but where is it?
Well, and I can empathize a little bit with that too, because I remember when I was in the corporate world, I wanted to take the leap for the pulse.
Yeah.
And I just was ready to leap. I didn't prepare probably like I should have. So I'm wondering for your clients or people that you would work with, would you maybe work with someone before they took that leap from the corporate job into their own? Okay.
So
where were you when I needed you?
Right. A lot of people say that. You know, so the workshop is the perfect setting for that. The individual clients that I work with are typically, they've had their business, they have a more mature business, and we're really, really digging in, right? So they're climbing their mountain. They are climbing that mountain, and we're sort of getting them to the next spot. For the individuals who are at that point, maybe they're launching into their new venture, maybe they're considering a big transition, they're at that crossroads, the workshop is the perfect environment for them to be able to really kind of delve into that. But I think the other piece is that when you clarify your vision, you have this filter.
Okay.
And so what that filter does is allow you to understand what's the true opportunity and what's a distraction just disguised as an opportunity.
Okay.
Because it's really easy, again, to say, okay, well, I want to do that, I could do that, I could do that. And successful people could be successful in so many ways, right? And so the challenge for them is to figure out which way they want to be successful and how they want to really channel that energy. Because if it's going in all different directions, it's diluted.
Right.
But obviously, if you channel it and you get that laser focus, then, I mean, watch out.
I love that. Okay, so let's talk to the viewers, because we have you here, so we want to take advantage of your skill set and your resources.
I love it.
As a resource, what can you maybe recommend to the viewers? Something that they could implement, that they could use, or a tip that you could give them?
Definitely. Well, you know, one thing I think a lot of people ask is, when I say, so I do visioning workshops and I bring visionaries together, they say, oh, so do you do goal setting? And it's a totally natural question, but in my mind, I always think of the best soccer player. Now, I'm the least athletically inclined person, so forgive me if I'm totally messing up this analogy, but right, if you're the best soccer player in the world, you could want to make a goal. But there are other factors, so you might not be able to make the goal no matter how hard you're trying, no matter how hard you've trained. Right? And so a vision is something that we want to be able to sort of make sure that someone can't take away from us, that we can achieve on our own. So in my mind, yes, we can set goals, but goals sometimes look like they're screaming out from the page and sort of pushing us.
Right.
And oftentimes when I work with people and we start to really understand their vision, the vision pulls them. And working backwards from that vision helps them understand, okay, well, if that's where I want to be in 5 years, what are the benchmarks on the way? Right? What are the steps of action? What are the metrics? And so goals come out of it. But again, for me, the vision is really the initial question. Before I can talk to someone about their goals, my question is always, well, what's the vision? Where are you headed? Because how do we know they're the right goals unless we understand where you're going? Right. And a lot of times people come up with all these goals and they're working so hard and they're exhausted and they need like 5 bottles of Miracle, right? Which they should have anyway.
They don't have enough Miracle.
They don't have enough, but then at that point they realize that they are drained, and again, they've been working really hard, but it hasn't been getting them closer to where they actually want to go.
Well, and it's also like celebrating the small successes with the smaller, like the little benchmarks, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. So
because we can't just say, okay, like for me, I want to have my own network, right? I want to be like Oprah. I'm going to have my own network. It'll be the Pulse Network. But it's like that, you know, I can't just automatically get there. Right. Well, I can.
Sure.
But, you know, the chances are I'm going to have small goals, right? So if I wait, I'm going to get frustrated if I just don't get to that larger goal. But where are my small goals and how am I going to get there, right? So then you're accountable, right? You help with accountability to get there too.
Yes, that's huge. That's huge because for me, you know, I really have to trust my visionaries. I have to be able to trust them that they're going to be able to make their vision a reality. And I always say, I will help you write a vision. I will not help you write a fantasy. I just won't do it.
Oh, I love that.
I just won't do it. So if you're coming to that workshop, you know that I'm going to be guiding you through and asking you, that's really inspiring. Is it attainable? We got to make sure there's an intersection there.
Okay.
But the funny thing that you mentioned about celebrations is there's sort of like an inside joke with my visionaries about the celebrations, because they know I'm always going to ask them, all right, great, well, that's the benchmark. How are you going to celebrate? And they're like, oh, gosh. And they're on our Facebook group trying to figure out, okay, have you guys had a good celebration? You know, and trying to get some input because they're trying to come up with something. So, so often entrepreneurs have these amazing visions and rock solid roadmaps, and the hardest thing for them to do is come up with how they'll celebrate. So one tip is just sometimes you can remember that a celebration can be for somebody else. It doesn't have to necessarily be for you. So, and it doesn't have to be big, but it does have to be meaningful. And it's not just celebrating to celebrate, right? It's celebrating because that's reinforcing the fact that you are moving towards your vision, and that's huge.
I love that.
Yeah.
You got to celebrate all the small things. Stop and smell the roses.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about your workshop. So you are going to be hosting, you've done a few, but this is a larger one, at least for 15 people.
Yeah.
It's intimate. I mean, I love this. It's very personalized. But she's going to be doing a series of workshops. The first one is going to be on the 20th.
Yep.
What I love about this is it's 15 people.
Yeah, maximum of 15.
Lots of
Absolute
attention to individual people that are in the workshop. But let's talk about it. It's at WeWork downtown.
Yep.
What can people expect?
Yeah, so the first thing they can expect is that when they leave that day, they're going to be completely exhausted. completely exhausted. So that's the first thing. Second thing is to know there's lots of visionary fuel. There's lots of snacks.
Okay.
Really important. Chocolate is an essential ingredient in visioning, just FYI. But really, right, what can they expect? They can expect. You sold me
already.
I know.
Chocolate, food.
Yeah. So what happens at the beginning of the workshop is I really take people into this notion of accelerating their vision and what that means from a theory perspective, from a process perspective, and really helps everyone get on the helps everyone get that common language.
Okay.
And gets everyone on the same page for that day. And oftentimes during that conversation, people are saying, oh my gosh, I never realized, or oh, that's why that's been happening in my organization, or oh, I never connected those dots. And then from there, the entire rest of the day is the process itself. And so I'm guiding them through each and every exercise that just builds on itself organically. And so again, we spend the entire day basically peeling back the layers, really peeling back the layers on the core non-negotiables, the core vision. And then by the end of the day, they're getting to the point where they're really articulating that vision. Again, so many visionary leaders have it up there. They've just never had a chance to articulate it or just have the tools or the space or the time to be able to say, okay, stop, come up for air, let's actually do this process. So they're able to really get that out onto paper. And then that's when we start the dashboard and the roadmap. And
I love this. So this workshop, because we were talking about this too. You go to a workshop, you write, you make notes, and then people are like, whatever. Sometimes, right? They don't do anything with that information, right? I've been guilty of that. But you have a dashboard, and you have accountability where it's like check-ins weekly and things like that after. So tell everybody about that, because I think this part is amazing that you're doing.
So this was actually part of my vision when I wrote that first vision when I was 25, and now I'm on my second vision, so it's for June 1st, 2022. That's my current one that I'm working towards. So part of that vision was to make sure that my visionaries had this dynamic roadmap that would grow with them. So not just some static thing on a sheet of paper that would get, again, lost, under a stack of papers in their office. So this dashboard is completely customized to them, and that's what they're going into and creating in the workshop itself. So everyone has their own portal, their own login, password, and all of that. And then they go in, and that's something that they have access to on a continuing basis. The other piece of that is these weekly check-ins that you mentioned. And again, you walk in, you leave with this amazing roadmap, right? But life happens, and we're going to get derailed. So those weekly check-ins are individual to each and every visionary. It's not the same thing for everyone. I create every single one based on their roadmap.
Okay.
And so then they're getting that delivered to their inbox, and I read every single one.
That is so cool.
So then we can sort of keep a pulse on their progress. They know where they are, I know where they are. And then the other piece is every question asks, okay, so you wanted to do this, did this happen? If not, what do you have to get this back on track? And one of my favorite things is when I see someone's check-in come in, and yes, they say, that it didn't happen last week, but I already have this in place for next week. So what it allows them to do is really reflect and assess, and then be able to take those proactive, intentional steps for the next week. And I think having that time to reflect is what a lot of times entrepreneurs are missing, because we don't necessarily have that team around us, or we're leading the team.
Yeah, and if you're working by yourself, you don't have that person for the accountability.
Right. Exactly. And then we do have a private Facebook group for visionaries from all around the world. So visionaries from India and Australia and Canada and all around the US. And the most amazing thing is when someone's sharing a win or a challenge, and then somebody from another continent is giving them advice or connecting or, you know, giving them a shout out or whatever that might be.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you guys have to go. So it's 420. We actually have everything on our website. We also have the link to your website, which is truenorthvisionaries.com.
Yep.
So that's up. It's also on Eventbrite, and we'll have a link to that for you to get your tickets. Now, you have been so kind and offering a promo code to our viewers.
I have.
Because we want to get you guys there. Talk to us about the promo and what you're offering for everybody.
Absolutely. So the promo code is Vision 2018, and so the price is $675 for the workshop, and that actually includes your first month of accountability, ongoing support and accountability, which is $25 a month. So it includes that in it.
Perfect.
But for your viewers here today, we're doing the promo code for $175. So it's $500, and that again includes that first month of ongoing accountability and support. And then of course that'll continue at $25 a month. Obviously anyone can cancel, but typically the visionaries who really sink their teeth in, those are the ones who are finding that they're really gaining traction on where they want to go.
And we want you guys to get there. So so make sure you use the Pulse promo code Vision 2018. Again, we're going to have it on our site. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. Now, this is not going to be the only workshop. You're going to be doing more.
Absolutely.
So 420, we want to get you guys into that one, and hopefully we'll be working on some promo codes for the next one. I'm going to be personally at the next one, which will be May 25th.
Yes.
Right around my birthday, May 22nd. So bring your gifts to the workshop. No,
yeah, exactly.
But so May 25th, you're going to have another one. So we'll have details, and we'll have a link to that.
Absolutely,
So
and we have the same promo code for that one as well.
Perfect. So same promo code, Vision 2018 for that one. That'll be amazing. And again, it's 15 people. I can't wait. I think it's very tailored, custom, and I can't imagine anyone not needing what you're doing. Like I said, I'm out there in the entrepreneur world every day, and everybody needs that focus and that strategy and that accountability. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
And then is there anything else you could leave us with today, tip-wise, or just, you know, or how do people find out about you, to contact you if they want to?
Sure, just
they want to hire you or learn more.
Yeah, absolutely. So the website is a fantastic way to reach out. But my favorite thing is, you know, just getting in touch. So my website has my direct number and my email and all of that. And the best thing to do is just to be able to talk with somebody, because they just need to be able to just explain what's going on for them. And then at that point, I can help steer them into what might be the best fit. And of course, if I'm not that best fit, I have a lot of other people that I can send their way. So I just love that connection with people. And then I think the last thing just to keep in mind is that people, again, often think, okay, well, I have goals, how would this be different? And I just want always to remind people that, you know, a vision isn't a goal. A vision is really a promise to your future self.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having us, for coming in today and being on our show. We love it. We will be at her event on May 25th. Again, get a seat to the 420 workshop. You cannot miss it. It's going to be fabulous. And that's going to do it for our show today. If you guys have a story for us, if you want to be a guest on our show, if you have an event or something that you want to bring exposure to, contact us at the Pulse SD or thepulsesd.com, and hopefully we can get you as a guest on our live show. And thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend.
Great. Thank you.
All right.